Namaskar, Vanakkam, Bonjour. On behalf of Pondicherry University, a very good morning and a hearty welcome to one and all assembled here, especially to all the dignitaries on and off the dais.
Very distinguished guests of the day, Lieutenant General Mukesh Sabharwal, PVSM, AVSM, VSM and BAR, who is the Adjutant General of the Army Headquarters, Lieutenant General V.K. Chaturvedi, AVSM, SM, who is the Director General, Colonel Commandant of the Army Headquarters, Colonel Chandan Lal, Director of Projects, Army Headquarters, Major General S.P. Kochar, Colonel Harpal Singh, Lieutenant Colonel S.P. Sinha, Professor Vijay Kapoor, Professor Ramdas, Director of Studies, Registrar, very distinguished other invitees, members of the press, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great day for the Pondicherry Central University. Although we have signed 20 MOUs with international institutions as well as national institutions, but today we are joining hands with India's most pride, respected organization, the Indian Army, which is one of the best armies in the world. It was my dream, ever since I came, that we should join hands with larger organizations and the national organizations, and particularly defense. I never had visualized that an opportunity will come at appropriate time. We only decided at that point of time that let us extend the distance education with certain concessions, maybe 50% fee to all the defense personnel, so that they can, if they like, can improve their higher education qualifications. It's just on September around 16th, when the Chief of Army, General Singh, came here along with Lieutenant General Sabharwal ji, and when he went round the campus, of course it is not a surprise that he is impressed. We are confident that we are always capable of impressing people. So the obvious happened. He was so impressed that the proposal, which was somehow mooted by Professor Kapoor, that this should be a beginning of a new era, not only in the history of Pondicherry University, but also the new dimension and the new direction that the Indian Army has taken in qualifying the officers with higher education. And that materialized. So from September 16th, just in January, from our standards, I think it's a fast move. It was persuaded by General Kochar Sahab, all the time calling me, sometimes threatening that I'm going to withdraw. So I know that because I use the same technique most of the time. And the perseverance of Kapoor and the efficiency with which our registrar, Mr. Lognathan, handled the whole thing has brought this day a reality. Friends, you may not be aware that perhaps, if I am right, this is the first university with which the Army is signing an MOU to send its officers for a full-time postgraduate program and a PhD program. The number indicated by my colleague, senior colleague, Professor Ramdas, is not necessarily a number written on the stone. This number could be far, far higher. After all, I am not seeing any reason why it should be restricted to any particular number. Number two, I am also not seeing any reason why it should be restricted to only certain disciplines. I think it is the requirement of the Army to which we will open the doors. Many of the things, because we all have a wrong concept sometimes, or a misplaced concept, that Army is only there to protect the borders of the nation. It is not the only thing the Army does. That is the only organization of the country which does two things. It has the most interactive role with the civil society. May it be handling floods or disaster or any calamity or any happy occasion or any mela or anything or even a religious activity, whatever it is, ultimately you look towards the Army. Army comes, Army disciplines things, Army maintains. The bridge fell down just before the Commonwealth. Everybody is wondering what's going to happen. The Army came and erected in 15 days, and less than 15 days. Now, the interaction with the Army is so much with the civil society. It is for this reason that the Army leadership thought that there is a need for the Army officers for a greater exposure on not only a discipline training as a soldier, but also a training to understand the people. Now that can happen through education, and education of various kinds. It can be social sciences, it can be humanities, it could be media, it could be mass communication, it could be human rights, and it could be even science and technology, it could be engineering, it could be anything. So I'm just trying to make a point that the Pondicherry University has made a beginning today. It may be 45, 50 programs. There is no reason. Now we have expanded. As he said, this is the fastest expanding Central University of India, which nobody can challenge, with 300% expansion in 3 years. Nobody could achieve that ever since our independence. So we are so proud of our faculty, our non-teaching staff, our officers, that they have kept this challenge, and we have grown in that. So with this expansion, the entry of the Army personnel into the university can also increase depending upon their needs. Yesterday, a mention was made to me by General Kochar. Of course, General Kochar has got, I say, one character in him. You give him one finger, he will hold the second finger. If you give him the second finger, he will hold the third finger. And then finally he holds the hand and pulls you. Even before solving this problem and entering into, he said, what about the wives and spouses of the Army officers? What do they do here the whole day? when the officer is in the classroom. It was a very good point, actually. Now, I think we should work out, I think registrar, we should work out something which keeps them constructively occupied, as well as providing with them with an opportunity for doing some programs here parallel along with their spouses. I think it's a good idea, because when you talked to me yesterday, I was thinking about it, and I think we'll work out on that also. So therefore, I thank you for tossing that thought to do it. The immediately identified programs are management studies, South Asian studies, South Asian regional cooperation, and then any subject of the humanities. But I need to reiterate that any other subject which is of interest to the Army personnel shall be opened up for them. We will create supernumerary seats exclusively for them. We have agreed in the MOU that the entrance test will be held like any other candidate all over the country, but for the Army personnel, it will be held in one center in the Army headquarters, in a place identified by them, where they will go and hold the entrance test. And secondly, the merit list is not the common merit list, but we will have, because it is a supernumerary position, we will have a separate merit list amongst the Army personnel, so that whoever competes and comes in the merit, he gets it. One apprehension which was expressed by somebody yesterday in the academic council we had was that normally it seems that there may be some kind of delays in the sanction of leave to the officers who are selected. Probably that will have to be taken care so that they join well on time, sir. But these details can always be worked out. I take this opportunity to thank the Army to make us also proud that we are associated with you, sirs. And we are really proud of it. I am sure my faculty, all my teaching and non-teaching staff are proud of it. It will change. It will change the profile of the university. Now that we have expanded with the addition of about 1 million square foot of buildings this year, with addition of more than 15 programs, we have now decided to go for more international students also on the campus. We know that 3 years back we started at 1,500 students in the campus. Today we have 4,500. We are aiming to touch 6,000 students in the coming 1 or 2 years, out of which we are planning that at least 400 to 500 international students should be studying here. So it will be a wonderful ambience and an atmosphere, and I am sure the young Army personnel will definitely enjoy their studies in this campus. I thank you very much for making this day a success, and I wish this program goes ahead for decades to come, no matter who is on the chair. Thank you very much, sir.